Oh, hi, world. Hey, how's your Monday going? I apparently am having a Monday of Mondays. I have been sitting here for the last 5 minutes talking away, wondering, why am I not getting any reaction? Where are the comments from people on Facebook? Where are the comments from people on YouTube? Where are the comments from people on Twitch? I played the intro music. I've been sitting here talking steadily for the last couple minutes. Yeah, I forgot to hit the broadcast live button. Son of a gun. I'm like, it's awfully quiet. I know people are not in a good mood today because Monday and snow and stuff. But it's there's quiet, and then there's like, why am I even here? Quiet. Yeah. Thanks, Julie. P.S. You need to stream too. Thanks. There's our friend Susie, the dating diva. See, now I feel like the lady on Romper Room. I see Susie and James and Kelly Kitten Girl and Ken and Tanya and Andre. The gang is all here. Yay! So as I was saying, what a Monday. In case nobody, we were streaming on blasttheradio.com. At least I got one part right. I love you too, Kelly. Let's get married, run away. Okay? Rawr. In case nobody on your social media told you, in case you don't have a window, in case you don't have a door or a webcam or any way to see outside, it snowed a little bit last night. I know. How unusual. What? Snow? In mid-November in Ottawa? Shut up. It's right up there with all these predictions they give us every single year. Narcity. I don't even know what Narcity is. I just see that, they a lot of people post articles from Narcity. And, there's Craig. Good morning, Craig. I'm sorry you felt left out. You want to snuggle? Mwah. It'll be okay, Craig. I'm here now. They keep posting these articles. This is going to be a snowy winter. Parts of Ontario will see a lot of snow. And I look at the headline and I'm like, as opposed to what? Those winters we typically have around here where I'm like wearing Bermuda shorts and even that's too much. Oh, okay. Anyway, God love you people on Facebook and TikTok and Twitter, etc., for updating those of us who don't have things like windows in our lives to let us know that indeed it has snowed. Anyway, rain snow mix for the day, high of 3, -1 tonight. Could see some flurries. Gonna warn you now. Could see some flurries. What? I know. Overcast 1 tomorrow. Rain snow mix Wednesday. Thursday, showers 9. And at this point, they're saying sunshine Friday and Saturday. So, I have some news regarding the show, regarding my career, my future. I can't say too much about it at this point, but I do want to give you a heads up that over the weekend, I was offered an opportunity that is irresistible. As you are probably aware, 6 years ago, the station I was at flipped formats, let everybody go. And I decided, at least on a temporary basis, I would hang my hat here on Blast the Radio, which became a labor of love, which became probably the favorite place I've ever done radio in all my life. And is something that I have built to include so many talented people around me. Oh, and Lowell Green. Please tell him I said that and that I said it like that. But all this to say, this has been a very difficult transition period in my life. It has been A long, 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 and very difficult 6 years. But this opportunity that I will officially be able to announce sometime within the next couple of weeks is exactly the kind of opportunity that I have been coveting. It is an opportunity that is going to allow me to continue with blasttheradio.com. So there you go. Craig's like, you're not moving, are you? No, sir. Not going anywhere. In fact, this contract is exactly what I needed in order to ensure that BTR can remain on the air, doing what it does. Now, this to say, I'm not sure what the whole thing looks like just yet. I won't know until I dive in with both feet. For the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be on and off doing the live shows, just doing some training and getting myself up to speed on some stuff. What this show looks like going forward, I don't know. My expectation, my hope is that nothing will change. All depends on what some of the other requirements are. Anyway, it's an exciting opportunity, and I cannot wait to tell you more about it. But that's been the big concern. And by the way, I got like I think around 300 comments or something on Facebook. People excited about it. Just a little bit of a tease. And unfortunately, I do like to tease. I do. And I'm a big believer that, in radio, the tease is a big part of it. But in this case, it's not so much that I want to tease. It's that there are certain pieces of the puzzle that have to be put in place before I can officially announce exactly what it is that I'm up to. There are other people involved, and anyway, so all this to say, for the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, things I may be on one day, off the next. I will be off tomorrow, although I'm going to pre-record the show. I'm sorry, I hate doing that. But our dog has, the last couple of days, been limping quite badly. And listen, during the pandemic, when you can get a vet appointment, you take the vet appointment. So 10:30 tomorrow, she's getting looked at. So tomorrow I will not be here live, but yeah, for the next couple of weeks, my expectation is, for the most part, I will probably be here in some way, shape, or form. But please forgive me if it's not as consistent as you are used to. Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Stephanie, little lady. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jason. Good morning to you. Oh my God, the craftsmanship that Jason cranks out, kitchens and stuff, woodworking, amazing. Finn's mom, all excited. Woo! Myriad. I love your name, Myriad. Thanks. This is something if I haven't been very communicative lately, I've been on a lot of calls, a lot of back and forth, a lot of pre-planning and auditioning and stuff. So anyway, we'll leave that at that for now. Guylaine, I've told you this before, but it's so true. First girl I really had a crush on. I was 14 doing a French exchange in Chicoutimi. Guylaine. Anyway, been listening to you for a long time. She says, love what you can, love what you do. Can't wait to see the changes as long as you don't go anywhere. Nope, Guylaine, rest assured, this means that if anything, I will be here even longer. It's really the best of both worlds. And it really sort of ties in nicely to exactly what I see the future of radio being. And I mean, it's funny, every now and then someone takes it upon themselves to crap all over you. You're not doing real radio. You're in your house, man. What a jerk. In your house. Well, yeah, until you realize that when the pandemic hit, I got a ton of phone calls from radio stations saying, we need to get our people broadcasting live from their homes. We think we know how to do this, but it doesn't sound like you sound. What's the key? Can you help us? And then you watched 60 Minutes last night, and they interviewed a big time author, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but it's got syndicated shows right across the USA. conservative talk show host. There he is, set up at his kitchen table. This is the norm now. 6 years ago when I started this, it was pretty unusual. But I mean, this is what every podcaster Howard Stern is broadcasting live from his house. There's still TV shows out there. A lot of the entertainment shows, for example, and I've laughed at them before. They put on these ball gowns. They're hosts. They're hosts of it's not E. It's what's the Canadian entertainment show? But yeah, they're dressed up in ball gowns, broadcasting live from their kitchen. This is the new normal. And the way I see radio going, the technology just allows for someone to very simply be at home and juggle a multitude of platforms that they could be on at any given time. So this really, it takes things to the next step. Combine that with a new on-air system that is pretty much up and ready to go. And things here on BTR are looking pretty damn good. So there you go. I wish I could tell you more. That's all I can tell you for now. The minute I'm able to tell you more details about that, I will. And thank you, by the way, to everybody who had a little love for me in my little teaser announcement. So there you go. Oh, Faces Magazine Awards. Warning. Faces Magazine 2022 nominations are now being accepted. I've posted the link at facebook.com/Milkman Show. If you're so inclined and would like to nominate BTR, we would appreciate that. We did win the award last year, which still blows me away. Especially considering that those awards are sponsored by a whole other broadcast company. So that you voted and took the time to, well, first off, that you nominated us and that you took the time to vote last year is really amazing. We've been nominated in the past as well. So if you're so inclined, I am not nominating the radio station. I don't believe in that. I'm going to make you aware of the fact that it's there. And if you love what we're doing and would like to nominate us or would like to nominate any other radio station or, whatever business, depending on the categories, the Faces Magazine Awards are there. So many businesses. I know like Lindsay at Inner Soul Yoga and Cycle, they have won Faces Magazine Awards for Best Yoga Studio in the past. It means it's a little thing. It really is a little thing, but it means so much to an entrepreneur, to a small business. It's just that little recognition. It's just that extra little vitamin C, that extra little pep that propels you forward. It's really great. So that link is now at facebook.com/Milkman Show. Tara says, we're forever grateful for you and for the opportunities you've made for Finn and for the tech support for Jazz Op Mandag. Yes, Tara's husband, Bram, does a show. He's from not Holland. He's from the Netherlands. Lives here now, but I was able to work with him a little bit. Didn't take very long. Resolve a couple of issues he was having and get him up and running so he's able to maintain a wonderful jazz show that he does back home. But he does it from here too. And of course, Finn's Friday Forecast is awesome. Let's nominate Finn for Best Weather Forecaster. Take that, Ian Black. There you go. And he's a great little weather forecaster. There you go. What else is going on here? Okay, so let's talk about Adele, shall we? Oh my God. I mean, how does a human sing like that? I just... Her music is so serious. It's so beautiful. It's so elegant. She's so beautiful and so elegant. And yet she's so sarcastically and bitingly funny. So quick-witted. I hope you had a chance to see that last night. I thought the set was gorgeous. It was at the National Observatory in Los Angeles, up on the mountains. And I mean, come on. It can only happen in Hollywood, where they've got, the lighting on this building is superb. They've backlit the benches that people are on. And by the way, mostly, pardon me, coffee and bagel this morning. They'd like to say hello. So, I mean, your audience was Lizzo, was Oprah, was, you name the celebrity, they were there. Save for one couple. And if you PVR'd this and you don't want to have any surprises spoiled, now would be a good time to have your headphones disengage. But a nice little, are they gone? They're gone. Okay. But a beautiful little wedding proposal there. And how funny was that young lady? Who are these people? It was wonderful. And I thought it was well done with, she'd do a song or two and then they would go to a little conversation with her and Oprah and back and forth. Yeah. In Oprah's garden. Oh, yes, it makes you feel right at home, doesn't it? Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot. That's my tea house over there, says Oprah. I mean, they're living in a world that you and I can't even possibly imagine. My tea room is right over there. Give me a break. But I believe that was the same place where Oprah interviewed Harry and Meghan, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Adele, absolutely stunning. What really captivated me was just the conversation about her mental health, which is, and she addressed the weight thing. And she, and very matter of factly said, I didn't lose weight because of any public pressure. I lost weight because I was on a journey to better myself and really found myself falling in love with the gym. And she calls herself an athlete, and she's very, very proud and excited to have found this time in the gym. And the differences that it's made for her and how it helps her clear her head. I get that. And I respect that. And you know what? Adele, heavy in her current set, just an absolute, just a gorgeous human. And can we talk about her skin? I know some of that is makeup, but that is how, holy moly, makeup perfection. Costuming perfection. And as I'm watching that last night, I'm flipping through and I start seeing comments on social media from people saying, am I the only one who kind of feels like this is a letdown? What? Yeah, I think you are. You're certainly in the small minority. What were you expecting? When you put Adele on, are you expecting a mosh pit? Like, what? It's Adele. It's grace. It's elegance. It's a raw story of her human journey, of love, of struggles, of hurt, of divorce, of becoming a mom, of wanting to love herself but not being able to. I thought the whole thing was just very, very, very Adele. Anyway. I was moved to tears a couple of times. In that last song she did, I can't remember what it's called, but she referenced it in her conversation with Oprah, but about, falling in love with herself first and then allowing herself to be open to love again. And then it was my first time hearing the song. I guess it's off the new album. Dude, it was like, if you told me that was a cover of like a crooner hit from the 40s, like if Dean Martin had sung that originally, or Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, I totally would have believed you. It was every bit as impactful as those songs that I grew up with, of course. But anyway, not getting a whole lot of comments on that, but there you go. That was certainly what I watched. I gave up NFL last night to watch Adele, and really glad I did. As pretentious as I find Oprah to be, I actually thought the two of them were... they got along quite well. Moving on. So yesterday, the other thing that I did, as I do every single Sunday, we get together for a Milky Family Zoom call. And we're just sort of catching up and, what's happening in your world, what's happening, my brother, and his kids and where they at, and how's, one of my nieces has a new job. How's that going? My nephew's, trying to make a hockey team. How's he getting along with that? And, his other daughter is on her way to live with us in the not too distant future. She is a student at Ottawa U, currently doing it remotely. So it's fun just to tease her and say, yeah, so I've taken a new job, and things may change. And so the look on her face, because instantly she's thinking, oh God, you're moving, and now I have to move in with Grandpa and Grandma, which is not a bad thing. Grandpa and Grandma are pretty awesome. The food's good. But if you're 19 years old, what seems more, I mean, the ultimate, of course, is having your own place. But second to that, maybe your aunt and uncle who are in their 50s, as opposed to your grandparents who are pushing, well, okay, I'm going to be nice. They are in their early to mid 80s. I know, right? So it's just fun to put the fear of God into her and see the reaction. Sort of just talking about, whatever, and what's for dinner tonight, and how was your week, and what's going on, this, that, the other thing. And Dad, is very proud. Got the car out to get the winter tires on, so that's done. Good. Yep, fantastic. And then he says, I wanted to go to Costco on Thursday, and get my propane tanks filled. So he loads them up in his car. He says, and I go to leave. He says, and his car is one of these new fancy ones where as long as the keys are in the vicinity of the vehicle, then all you need to do is push like the rocket ship start button. I don't understand these things. I'm not looking forward to my next car because the Ram I have right now already doesn't have a gear shift. It has a knob, and I freaking hate the knob. Things I don't normally say, by the way. But I want a gear shifter. I like the gear shifter. And yes, I appreciate the fact that, it creates more room in my console for me to put stuff. But I'm already in a Ram. How much more room do I need? I don't. Anyway, so he's got one of these fancy cars, keys in the vicinity, whatever else, the damn thing will start. You just push the little rocket ship start button and away it goes. So he does that. Car starts, no problem. And he hits, I've got, I don't have a gear shifter. I've got a knob and it's on my dashboard. Well, he's got little buttons. So there's, a button for drive, a button for reverse, a button for neutral. Anyway, he goes to hit the button for drive and the car shuts off. Oh. That's weird. Goes to try it again. Same thing. 3 times. Car's not going anywhere. Just keeps shutting off on him. Ah, crap. Wants to go to Costco. Wants to get his propane tanks done. Wants to be ready for winter. By the way, this is a man who has his his everyday barbecue, and then he has his winter barbecue. Cute, right? It's a smaller, easier to move onto the deck. It doesn't have to bother anybody to have the other barbecue lifted up onto the deck because it took all of 30 seconds for my brother and I to do. But, no, I don't want you hurting your back or anything like that. So he's got his winter barbecue. Anyway, he's off to get his propane. Can't get the car to start. Calls roadside assistance. They show up within an hour or whatever else. And the guy, is walking around the car and he's got his little tester and he's, how's the battery? Blah, 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 blah. And Dad's telling this, of course. He's like, you're going to think I'm going, senile. He's like, my old man moments. He's very proud of the fact that Dad's 84 now, 83, 84. And like could run circles around all of us. The man is amazing. Still golfing, throws his back out every now and then. But I mean, that's about it. In great shape. Reads every day, very alert. We're very, very lucky. My dad's in great, great shape. So is my mom. But he's like, you're going to think this is an old man moment. He says, so the guy, he's testing the battery and he's looking at this and he's looking at that. He says, and a couple minutes later, he says, Mr. Milky, I think I found the problem. Dad's like, oh, okay, good. Cause he's afraid he's going to have this, his vehicle towed down to the dealership and he'll be without and the blah, 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 the hassles. So the guy says, yup. He says, I fixed it for you. Oh, what was the problem? So earlier in the week, I guess after he got his tires changed, he came home and decided he was going to put his winter mats in. And he's got those WeatherTech mats. So your all-season mats, of course, are, whatever the dealership provides to you. They're like carpet and they're pliable. The WeatherTech is a much, much more it's a hard plastic. It's molded to fit your car, right? And hold water and liquids in. So he gets home from having his winter tires done, decides to put his WeatherTech mats in. And the guy from roadside assistance is like, Mr. Milky, I found your problem. So when he put the WeatherTech mats, and I shouldn't be telling this, sorry, Dad, I love you. but it's you tell great stories, and I got to share. So he puts the WeatherTech mats into his car, and I guess somehow puts it over top of his gas pedal instead of underneath the gas pedal. So when he goes to put the car in drive, oh, something's on the accelerator. Safety thing kicks in and shuts the car off so that nothing bad can happen. Oh, Dad. But I mean, like he's you're gonna think this is like an old man moment. No, I can easily see myself doing that. I can see anybody doing that. It's dark down around your gas pedal and brake pedal, especially if you're doing this in the garage. And you think you just plunk. Anytime I put a car mat in a vehicle, it's just plunk and it's done. Now with the Ram, of course, it's up a little higher, so yeah, you get a little bit of a different view when you're putting your mats in there, but still, it's like, anyway, too funny. What's the Zoom meeting ID for BTR? We are not doing a Zoom currently, Finn's Papa. Sorry. Finn wants to join. We're not on Zoom, unfortunately, guys. Craig says it's funny, but it could happen to any of us. It really could. It really absolutely could. And, I'm just glad it happened to Dad so I could, tell it as a story from his account as opposed to something that I would have done. So there's that. Hey, if you're not liking it here on Earth, good news. Jeff Bezos has said that it won't be long until humans are living in space. And Earth will just be like a vacation destination. Oh, good. More isolation. That's fantastic. more feeling like I'm floating and spinning out of control into the great abyss. I don't know. Do you see us living in space? It's long been a fantasy, we're going to build a colony on Mars. It's all going to be in bubbles. And, we're going to use rocket ships to get oxygen up there, and we're going to figure out ways to do this. Yes, I see that Finn wants to join. Unfortunately, I'm not on a Zoom call. I can't. I'm sorry. Don't make me feel bad. So space, the final frontier. Jeff Bezos says we're that close. Then there's that. Okay, so the big news story that's really bothering me comes out of Kitchener. Waterloo, and I know we've got listeners down there. As now, I'm going to play an audio clip for you. I'm going to warn you now. It is disturbing. It is very upsetting. Okay, so you've been told, you've been warned. I will warn you again as we get close to it. Can we send some people to space permanently? Says Susie. Right? Oh, I have a list. And do we have to provide them with a rocket ship, or can we just send them like poof? Just keep floating. Go away now. Anyway, a very, very upsetting article out of Kitchener. With video, by the way. So as the story goes, and the video starts at some point during an altercation. So we're not privy to any conversations that happened before what you're about to hear. But as the story is being told in various media outlets, gentleman shows up at this restaurant in Kitchener, sits at a table with a couple of friends, and he has his service dog with him. By law, a registered service dog is welcome anywhere. And yes, you do have to have papers to certify that the dog is a service dog. This gentleman did, in fact, have those papers. So he's at his table with his friends, and he's got his service dog, and he's approached apparently by owners or managers who question about the dog. This gentleman with the dog, with the service dog, who, by the way, has the service dog because he has Asperger's. And this dog has 700 some odd training hours to, with his human partner. The dog is there to help him remain calm during stressful situations. I guess he deals with great anxiety, etc., especially social anxiety. So he's sitting at the table with his friends. Guy comes over, says, what's the deal with the dog? Whatever. Questions why the dog is there. This is from accounts before the video that we're about to play. What is this dog? What's it doing here? And just like any customer, I mean, if you own or manage a restaurant and all you're wearing is like a basic golf shirt and a ball cap and jeans, and nothing about that identifies you as being part of the restaurant or establishment, I mean, just watch Bar Rescue for 5 minutes. John Taffer goes through that. Like, you look like a customer. You go up to my table and you say, what's the deal with the dog? I don't know that you're the owner of the place. I don't know that you're the manager of the place. So the customer, I guess, questions who they are and why they want to know. And all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. Again, I'm going to warn you, this is actual footage taken by another customer in this restaurant in Kitchener. It happened late last week after customer with Asperger's confronted by owner, manager. He doesn't know. Who are you and why are you questioning my dog? Anyway, again, warning, this will be upsetting for some.
Leave a dog to stay in here. We asked you to leave 100 times, buddy.
I didn't do anything wrong. Jesus Christ. I didn't do anything wrong.
Relax, man. We asked you to leave 100 times.
You came up to me out of nowhere, and I just asked you who you were. You.
Get out. Just get out, man.
I have her license.
Get out. I said. We asked you to leave.
I'm not leaving that. No. I've done nothing wrong.
Yes, you have. You're disrupting my business. We asked you to leave 100 times. Off.
I haven't done anything to warrant that.
Please, for the love of God. What don't you understand? You are trespassing, buddy. Call the police.
No, I will call the police.
Well, call them in the parking lot. Go outside.
No.
Come on, man. Let's take this outside.
No, I'm not doing that. Why did you want to see it?
You were asked to leave. You said go yourself.
Because you refused to tell me who you were.
What did I ask to tell you?
Yes, you do. You can't. If there's some random customer, you have no authority over me.
Oh, man. You're an idiot, man.
You're an idiot.
Get the out, man.
Owner just smacked the customer, by the way.
Stop touching him.
Now they're pushing him. These are the owners pushing him. He pushes back.
You can't do that.
Come away. Don't touch me, you son of a. Leave me, and you on this will be on the national news, you asshole. Leave me.
Calm down, man. You gotta get out of here.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Don't you understand? You gotta leave, bro. Buddy, you're trespassing.
Stop touching him. Leave him alone.
You son of a.
You're hurting him. Stop.
Stop it.
Just leave him alone.
Well, we want him out of here.
He's got a service dog. You can't kick someone out having a service dog.
Service dog. And you serve. No, I do not. No, I do not.
Why don't you?
No, I do. I have her license. I just asked you to tell me who the hell you were. And you refused.
Out of here.
No. I'm on the right side of the law and I'm not leaving.
We'll give you another minute, man.
No, you're not allowed to do that. I'm not trespassing.
Yes, you are.
I am not.
This private property. You're trespassing, bro.
I'm not. I have her license.
That doesn't give you a free pass for trespass.
I'm not trespassing.
Right now, you're going to get charged under trespass. trespass.
I'm a customer.
Please leave. No, you're not. You're not desirable. I want you to go. The dog can stay, but you can't stay.
No.
No. No. You have to leave, please.
If you want to drag me out, you have to drag me out.
So now they're threatening to drag him out.
I'm not touching your dog. Oh, man.
Murder if you want me to.
Yeah, you're bleeding.
Go yourself.
Oh, is it big on your foot, buddy?
Yo, you are.
Oh, you hit me. I'm bleeding there. You assaulted me, you little
You
because you got
assaulted
it.
me.
I should kick you right in the head right now.
That's the owner. The owner saying, I should kick you in the head right now.
Is that like?
Alex is
Yeah.
girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Alex a little bit. But
Yeah.
So
I
sorry.
think he's calling the cops. I think so. I don't know.
I'm so
I wasn't ever shooting the video, by the way, if you're listening just on air.
Owners,
I
like,
have no idea what's happening. Alex, is Alex?
You're
yeah.
go to f***ing hell.
Come on, buddy. See, if I had left you, if you would have just left when we asked you.
You didn't even.
So there you go. That is apparently from Milton's Restaurant in Kitchener-Waterloo. Now, the owner has since come out and said, oh, there's more to this story than they're seeing in the video. Again, if you're just joining us, so the situation, apparently, as it happened, gentleman shows up to have dinner with friends. He has his service dog. Gentleman with the service dog has Asperger's. He's on the autism scale. Guy walks over. If you're watching the video, you see that the guy who walks over is wearing a ball cap. He's got like a ski vest and jeans on. What's with the dog? Customer doesn't know that you're the owner of the place. He doesn't know that you're anybody in authority. As far as he knows, you're a customer being a dick. Turns out you're the owner being a dick, but he says, and who are you? He's got the papers, but feels he doesn't have to show them. It's a service dog. Service animals are allowed. And all hell broke loose with these owners of the restaurant pushing him, shoving him. And granted, look, he's agitated and he's pushing back, and they call him an idiot. Congratulations, gentlemen. You just called someone on the autism spectrum an idiot. Good for you. And as has been pointed out, the dog also has a vest. There have been protests outside this restaurant all weekend. One of the protesters saying, I guess at one point over the weekend, she was, out there with a sign, whatever else, and a customer came out and tried to, stop her from filming and tried to get the cell phone out of her hand. It ended up in an altercation. Police ended up being called to that too. Anyway, police are investigating this incident. The owner, like I said, has spoken up and said, no, there's more to the story than what the video shows. But since then, I guess their phone is no longer being answered. It just goes to voicemail. Voicemail's full, obviously. They've pulled their social media pages. Even their website has been yanked. But yeah, that's Milton's, apparently, in Kitchener-Waterloo. The thing, again, we talked about it last week, I think, on this show. Why did nobody get involved? Which is easy to say when you're watching the video. Why didn't somebody step in? Certainly some people said some things. But again, here we are. This is just where we're at in the world. People are afraid of consequences if they get involved. Because I watched that. This is the third time I've seen that. My instinct is I feel my whole body tensing up and the anger in me. I want to dive through my screen and I just want to. I'm not a violent person, but my God, I want to grab each party and just go, enough. Somebody has to, but I get it. Because the minute you step into that situation, because that's going to court. So you stand there helplessly instead and you roll video. I don't like where we're at. I just, what do we do about this, guys? 613-604-6464, by the way, is the number here. If you've got anything you'd like to add to the conversation regarding that, what would you do in that situation? You're in that restaurant and that's happening around you. What do you do? It really, really, really upsets me. With all the awareness that we have out there now, but you know what? I still see this happening. I see it happening on my own timeline. I have several people on my Facebook who are autistic, Asperger's, etc., and they like to comment on things. Now, sure, I have the benefit of understanding and knowing that this person, has autism and has this complete. There's one young man who's on my Facebook who is just in love with all things radio, just in love, and just has to comment on anything to do with radio, and so often is met with anger and told, you're such an idiot with your comments and this, that, the other thing, and you act like such a child and blah, 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 blah. Congratulations. When you take that stance, when you just choose to be that person, whether it's in that restaurant, whether it's dealing with someone on the streets, whether it's commenting on Facebook, if you don't know the person you're talking to, you have to come at the world with kid gloves. You really do, because the world is getting better and better and better at incorporating people with autism and other challenges. Good for you, owner of the restaurant. You called the guy with autism an idiot and then threatened to kick him in the head. I don't see how you can argue out of that in a courtroom. Yes, you asked him to leave. And yes, he should leave. And once you ask somebody to leave your property and they refuse, yes, they are, I guess, by law, trespassing. But how does someone leave that situation? You have him cornered. You're being physically violent with him. You're pushing him. You're shoving him. You're yelling and screaming at him. He's wondering where his dog is. Once he's reconnected with his dog, he leaves. And the knowledge that these two owners have, the people are, first off, if you're not aware of the world you live in right now and that cell phones are everywhere and everything is being filmed and documented, I don't know what to say about you. But these guys, somebody at some point in the video, they look at the cameras and we're obviously told, hey, this is, somebody's videoing this. And he waves it off like, I don't care. He's so enraged. I don't care. I've got to continue beating this customer of ours up. Some of the comments, Craig says, I would have stepped in to mediate. The owner was in the wrong and the customer wasn't cooperating as easily as he could have. That's why a mediator might have been effective. And again, Craig, I applaud that, but I really question. Would we get involved? Would you get involved? I think there's an alarm bell that goes off in people's heads now saying, I'm best just to nope. Because and again, I stepped in to try and help someone years ago. I really, and to this day, I know I was doing the right thing. A young man was threatening to harm himself, and I stepped in and I made a call, and I ended up receiving a death threat over it. For the rest of my life, I will question, I will hesitate to ever get involved. And anybody who has been around me and seen that story and seen just what it did to me, and I wasn't the only one, by the way, who received death threats. There were others. Very potentially violent situation. It shakes you. And it really makes you afraid to even want to say anything. Comment from Chris. He says, I have a son with autism. You can give him directions, and I can assure you he doesn't understand why you're asking him to do it. He'll follow orders, but he has no idea why. I don't know the story of the man in the video specifically, but it's very possible he didn't understand what was happening. Absolutely. And that goes back, Chris, to what I'm saying is you cannot make the assumption that everybody in your restaurant is there's no, I mean, I don't even want, normal's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying? You cannot make the assumption that the person in your restaurant is not someone who has, for example, autism. If you are in the restaurant business, you have to be abundantly aware that some of your customers come in there, they're autistic, or they have other things going on. Yelling, screaming, punching, etc. Sir, we're asking you to leave. Customer doesn't leave, you walk away from it. You call the police. We've got a customer who's being disruptive, and we've asked him to leave, and he's not leaving. And you let the police deal with it. They're trained. Some better than others, granted. They're trained to deal with that. What are you gaining by getting in this guy's face like that and dragging him across the floor? Threatening, I should kick you in the head. What do you gain from that? Nothing. It's awful. It's awful. And again, the owner claims there's more to the story than what we see on the video. Okay. For the life of, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, I'm sure there is. Something precipitated that, obviously. But I cannot, in my wildest dreams, imagine what would have precipitated that would be so egregious, that would be so offensive or potentially hurtful to your business that it couldn't be dealt with a phone call to the police instead of that. Again, heat of the moment. I understand. Rob says, I would have made an announcement to everyone in the restaurant to leave the establishment for how this owner could treat a customer like this, especially someone with a service dog. He's saying I made up. That is so true for today's society. Chivalry's dead, adds Rob. It's just been forgotten. Good morning to Anna. James says the situation escalated because of the owner and staff's behavior. 100%. 100%. Like I'm saying, you ask a customer to leave, and you own the property, you're within your rights to do that. For whatever reason. I don't even think you need a reason, technically. I would like you to leave my establishment. Now, by law, if that customer is just sitting at a table and happens to have a service dog, that unto itself is not grounds to have them removed. But if there was something else going on there, customer is being disruptive or whatever, and you ask him to leave and he refuses, how do you own a business and not realize that you can't? I mean, you would be training your staff. Don't confront them. Get a manager. The assumption there being a manager, owner in this case, has more training in the situation. Or knows what the right thing to do is in this. The right thing to do is to call the police and have them mediate. or just deal with it. But now, I think we all see where this is going. There's protesters outside the restaurant. They can't function as a business. Would you go to that restaurant? Even if you didn't know what happened at the restaurant, you show up and there's protesters? Nope. Christy says, I bet the owners don't own any dogs, don't understand dogs can help people and their issues. That's beside the point. You own a business, a licensed business, where you would be dealing with health inspectors on a regular basis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, who you can't be in business and not understand that your business has to allow, I mean, a seeing eye dog? Are you going to kick a blind person? I mean, seeing eye dog is probably the most established assisted animal that we know of. Are you going to ask a blind person to leave your restaurant because they come in with their seeing eye dog? Hell no. Yeah, service dogs, I think, are a fairly new thing, certainly much more common today than they ever have been. Anyway, that's out of Kitchener. I don't want to say too much about it because, I mean, this is all, the media is all over this, especially down in the GTA area, but thought I'd share that with you, not intending to upset anything or whatever else. There is a GoFundMe, by the way, to help him, the gentleman affected, to, I guess, get a lawyer or whatever he needs. So there's no positive outcome in that whole thing. There really isn't. My hope is somebody heard that somewhere, and if they're in a similar situation on either end, whether they're the customer or whether they are the owner or manager of an establishment, that let's just take it down a notch. Stephanie says, can you share the GoFundMe link, John, please? I will, Stephanie. I will post that in the comments you're on Facebook, so I'll post this on the comments on the Facebook video. I believe it was a CTV article. It might have been a City TV article, but I will find that link for you in the next little bit. Thanks for asking. My hope is, listen, stop pouncing on people, especially people you don't. It's one thing. Okay, you've got a pretty good handle, I think, on who I am and what I'm about. And if you want to call me to task and call me an idiot or whatever else, that's fine. I can handle it. But when you start doing that to other people commenting on my timeline, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and you don't know who they are, don't just assume that they're on the same intellectual level as you, that they have the same IQ as you, the same education as you. You don't know. You don't know. Anyway, that was a rough one to see this morning. What else we got? We do have a comment by text, by the way. Thank you, 613-604-6464. I would have said something. My son has autism. I cannot imagine. So sad, says this commenter. Yeah, I again, I'd like to think that I would step into that situation. The reality is I'm all too aware now of just what can happen if you do. Anyway. So there's that. All right. I have some major news coming in the next couple of days. I may be on air, off air. Things may be a little out of sorts for the next couple of days or so. But I ain't going anywhere. I will still be here for you on blasttheradio.com. Don't know if I'll be able to continue with the talk segment, but I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can. Of course, if you love talking about the hot issues of the day, nobody does it better than Lowell Green. He's here for you weekday afternoons at 2. My forte, of course, is music. And I would be remiss if I didn't start you off with some Adele, which I'm going to do next. Hope you can join me as we do that for you on blasttheradio.com, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. No, not Twitch. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Got to say goodbye to you because I can't stream music on those platforms. But Twitch and blasttheradio.com. Hope you join me starting in about 30 seconds or so.